Hello, welcome back. It's Art of Cycling. I'm Greg Leach, and we're at the Tour de France. Of course, we're going to be here a while. We're only on stage 6 of 21, and then we get a little break, and we go right into the Tour de France Femme, which I think is 9 stages, 8 or 9. Sorry, don't quite remember right now. So, in the tour, of course, we've talked about the yellow jersey. I know we've talked about the green. Not sure we've talked about the white. But then we have my favorite jersey, probably because I'm not a good climber, but it's the maillot à plat, or the polka dot jersey. And it is won by being the most consistent climber. You earn points on every mountain climb, and since it's a running total, you don't necessarily have to win the big mountains, but you have to, although it certainly helps. And it is a very coveted jersey as well. It oftentimes, I think last couple of years, has been won by Pagaccia, who also won the yellow jersey. So you'll frequently see it, they like to call it on loan, but which simply means the yellow jersey takes precedent. There is a hierarchy of jerseys, so you can't wear more than one at a time. So whoever is the next place down on the, I don't want to say minor jerseys, but like I say, there is a hierarchy. So this is Alex Baudin, and I have actually, case in point, he won both the King of the Mountains jersey and the yellow jersey on the same day, I believe, but of course started the next day in the yellow, and it's, I forget whom, probably Molinar, or the polka dot. Molinar was his next closest competitor, but unfortunately in the final kilometers, I think I wrote about, I didn't talk about the crash right near the 5 kilometer to go banner, and Molinar went down in that. He was able to finish the stage, but apparently he broke his hand. Yow. So that has put him out of the tour. You can't imagine trying to, it's like I'm wearing a band on my forearm because I am struggling with torn tendons. In fact, after the races are over, I will be, this guy's trying to wave a flag here and the wind is just taking it straight out. And this guy's funny, he's just walking up the hill carrying something. Sorry, I'm trying to make this move. There. That's the downside of using these thumbtacks, is when I do want to move it, he's just like, he's been up here for, potentially a couple of days waiting for the tour to come by, and here they go, and he's just lollygagging up the hill, not even looking at the race. Now, what's going on here is that Baudin is starting to pop off the back. UAE is on the front, setting a brutal pace. Their first pacemaker just popped off, Niels Pullet. So we'll call this. Look, I remembered to do it this time. Okay. So that's the basic layout. You know the routine. I'm going to go through here, start with the warm colors, and then work my way forward. I do appreciate the new followers. Thank you all so much. For some reason, YouTube has decided not to let me see who you all are. Or maybe there's an option where you can keep your subscription private. I don't know. Most people have forgotten more than I know about the whole algorithms and all that yada yada. But anyway, so I do appreciate you just the same. Sorry I can't call you out except for Susan. At least I got to see that one. So thank you, Susan. And of course, if 80 of you all, not that 80 of you are watching right now, but maybe you are, I don't know. If 80 more of you all were to subscribe, I would hit that magic number. It allows me to generate some revenue. So come on, click that button. And then also, you'll get to discover when I post the next video. And I mean, if that's not incentive enough, what possibly could be? So I have a friend who, cycling buddy, member of RABA here in Richmond, Virginia, and also the guy who organizes the Bikes for Kids drive every year. I'm always thrilled to help out with the organization putting together, it was close to 700 bikes this year that are donated to children all over the Richmond area. But Andrew Mann went to the start of the tour and yesterday posted his Strava data of him riding this stage, or part of it anyway. He went up the Tourmalet. I don't know if he went up the Esplanade or not. The Tourmalet is next today. Yeah, the polka dot jersey is the only tour replica jersey I own. And as I said, I'm not much of a climber, so it's sort of my inspirational. I actually did, there's a century ride here in Virginia called the Mountains of Misery. There's a name that just inspires a desire to do it, doesn't it? But it is 100 miles in the mountains, the Blue Ridge Mountains, out in western Virginia. And the last 20 miles are up a hill, up a mountains. It's my, I suffered mightily, like I said, I'm not much of a climber. And I'd had leg cramps near the top, and I'd gotten off the bike and was walking, and it was foggy. And out of the fog emerges I'll say it, rather attractive French woman, at least she had a French accent. And she's like, the finish is just around the corner. You get on, you want to ride across for the finish, yes? And she encourages me to get on my bike. She goes, and I'll push you. Which she does, and I ride around the corner, and the fog lifts a little bit, and just a few hundred feet is the finish. So I got there, and I got there riding thanks to her. And of course, I turned around and she was already disappeared around the corner into the fog. Of course, I've always wondered, was she actually ever there in the first place? Because when I tell you I was feeling bad, I was feeling bad. So I'm not altogether sure she was real. It's been a long time since I've done a century. For those who don't know, a century is a 100-mile bike ride. There is sort of a thing, you're cyclists. The idea is to get up early and go ride really far and suffer. That's your idea of fun. You might be a cyclist. Oh, I never finished the point about my arm. So with this tendency, I'm afraid to ride, because I can just see myself getting out 30, 40 miles from home and having the tendon ripped the rest of the way. Did have a tendon completely ripped, shoulder, bicep. I was like, yeah, I don't want that to happen again. So I'm going to try and capture these mountains in the distance here. It's really rather beautiful. With as hot as it's been, I don't think we'll get treated. Frequently when we climb these mountains, they're shrouded in mist and the peloton is barely visible. Of course, it's rarely much of a peloton by the time they get to these heights. And the race is sort of blowing apart right now. Baudin is an example of that, as they UAE is on the front, just pushing the pace. I don't think they're definitely not attacking, but they're making the race hard. And that's reducing the size of the peloton, to be sure. Now for me, wearing the climbing in the polka dot jersey and getting dropped is not particularly embarrassing, maybe slightly ironic, which is kind of why I wear it. I wear it ironically. But when I did that ride, it seemed most appropriate to do the Mountains of Misery in the Mountains jersey. I was teased a bit. My skill is in going down the other side of the mountain. There goes my dog, who loves to bark incessantly for near no apparent reason. All right, I'm getting rather pleased with this. So again, talking about subscribers, I hope you all will consider subscribing as well. I will be, as I said, doing one of these for every stage of the tour. Of course, I'm painting, at this point, 7 or 8 paintings per stage. I was only shooting one video per stage. One time lapse as well. So after you watch this, maybe you can look at some of the time lapses as well. So there's quite a few more to come. We're stage 6, so what is that? 15 more stages, and then 8 or 9, I don't remember the number, of the Tour de France Femme, the women's Tour de France, to follow after a short break. So you'll want to be hanging around for all of those. And, while I do this for fun and enjoyment, and helps me pay a lot more attention to the tour, these are also all for sale. You can find all of the paintings on my cycling blog, and that'll be in the description, theartofcycling.blogspot.com. And there you'll find a direct link for each painting over to my website, gregleach.com. Of course, the website, that barcode will take you right there. So I thank you all for watching. There's Alex. There's the Maillot à Pois, or the polka dot jersey mountain climber in the tour. Thank you all for watching. I do appreciate it. Please leave a thumbs up. Help other people find these.